So what we're going to talk about tonight is a DMO, and you hear that term used a lot in Plexus. If you aren't sure what that means, it's your daily method of operation. And honestly, a daily method of operation is one very critical piece to being successful in your business. It's going to include your IPAs, which is another acronym that we use, which is income producing activities. So, you know, a lot of times you'll hear people say, well, I've been working my business, I've been on Facebook. Okay, but what have you really been doing on Facebook? Because Facebook has gained the term of wastebook for a lot of us in our industry, because it's very easy to get on and feel like you're going to do something income producing, and then you're scrolling posts, you're doing everything but doing something that's income producing. So I wanted to share with you all from several different successful diamonds what their daily method of operations have looked like, and how to incorporate those kind of things into your daily life. Now, Celeste Glenn, as you all know, is our double diamond. And when she was asked about her daily method of operation, she said that she first spends time in prayer for her family, her business, her team, and the company. She allows herself to surf personal Facebook for no longer than 20 minutes. Like, she has kind of a time on it where she knows she's scrolling around, and like, that's her time to look, to post, all of those things. I'm sorry, I'm getting some feedback. So give me just a second. There we go. So that busy work that you end up doing on Facebook that's not really work, and you're just kind of playing around. So she allows herself 20 minutes to do that. And then, of course, if you're traveling or you're on vacation or something like that, you may miss a day or so of this, but making sure that you wish your Facebook friends happy birthday, things like that. She also has a non-Plexus friends list, and we can do a whole nother segment on that, and we'll post some instructions on that. But there is a way to do different groups on your Facebook, so that, like, you can go and see, like, just what your family's doing, or just what your high school friends are doing, and things like that. So she created a group that's people that are not involved with Plexus, so that she can specifically and intentionally engage with those people that are not Plexus people. Responding to Facebook messages. She does that with starting with her level 1. Some of you may not have any ambassadors under you yet. Some of you may be silver, be gold. And trust me that as your teams grow, it becomes increasingly difficult to respond to all of your messages on a daily basis. So she does this by starting with her level 1. She does not use her time to answer any questions from her downline that can be found in the back office, on team pages, in files, or by doing light research in order to teach them self-sufficient duplication. And, like, for me, that's the hardest thing for me, because I've talked about this with my team several times. For me, it's much easier for me just to give you the answer instead of saying, well, you need to look that up. Because I don't feel like anybody wants to get the answer of, here, go look here for that. But truthfully, that's the answer that sometimes you're going to need to get, because we all have the same access to the information. And if you're not willing to look for the information yourself, then that's a whole nother level. So don't be surprised if you in the past have just been given a bunch of answers, and suddenly you're told, here, go check here and see what you find. Because that's truthfully how we should be doing that, to teach you how to be successful. She operates in a 5-3-1 rule, which is reaching out to 5 new people about Plexus, following up with 3 potentials who have shown interest in the past, in training one ambassador in some way. She notates to follow up at least once a month with people who have inquired about the details of Plexus before, like somebody you chatted with, but they haven't said no, because as we all know, until they say no, like leave me alone, I'm not interested, then that door is still open. She goes out and meets with potentials and ambassadors in person if possible, wearing your Plexus swag, meeting new people whenever possible, so that you can kind of widen your net. Typically, and I think a lot of you will find this shocking, she does not bring up Plexus with new people whenever she meets them. She tries to build a relationship with them and adds them on her Facebook, because clearly if you're connecting with somebody and you're adding them onto your Facebook, they're going to see what you do anyway. And then that's usually how that engagement is brought up with them. She says when she does her personal time, you know, for her family like that, personal time, so that gets to be completely off limits. One of the things that Celeste does, and she has a Periscope video that if you want to check it out, it's posted on her, I think it's posted on her YouTube channel. But she'll tell you to do not hide behind your computer. You have to get out and actually meet people to widen your to widen your contacts. So she starts her day like at 6:15 in the morning when her kids are in school, getting her kids off to school, and she may finish her day like around 11 o'clock at night. So, you know, like when she did the Periscope video on her DMO, she was actually like in the car at her son's football game, I think it was. But anyway, so that's one area that you can check out. Another thing that I love was looking at a couple of these diamond documentaries and seeing the way that, you know, when Plexus was brought into people's lives, how they incorporated it. So I'm gonna challenge you guys to watch 3 diamond documentaries. So you'll want to jot these down. The first one is Rosalind Payne. The second one is Jen Hawkins. And the third one is Andrea Mitchell. So you can see different people in different walks of life.
Alicia, who was the third one again?
Andrea Mitchell.
Mitchell, okay.
Sorry. So you can see people in different walks of life and how they've incorporated Plexus for them. Like Rosalind Payne, when she started Plexus, she was working 3 jobs, working over 60 hours a week. She was like, no, I don't got time for this. And she went to the top of the company doing that. So it is possible. You just have to have your DMO in place and stick to it. One thing that I'll also tell you is always make sure that you have your trials with you. So that if you do meet somebody and you're in conversation with them about Plexus, then you have the ability to actually offer them a sample or something while you're there with them. One thing that I love from Celeste, she's very candid in the fact of, because you hear different people say different things, and, oh yeah, I work for my business, or, well, I put out a stack of flyers at the nail shop. That is not working your business. I mean, that's putting something out there, yes. Leaving your business card in the little slot at the gas machine, yeah, that's going to possibly get you some activity, but that is not reaching new people. Reaching new people is actually, you know, you reaching out to somebody, you adding somebody on Facebook, you reaching out to somebody that you've not spoken to about Plexus before. That's actually reaching a new person. One of the other people that I looked at was Sarah Marble. And I was actually on her page. I've become friends with somebody that's in her downline through one of our other groups. And she shared this on one of her pages. And, so Sarah has like a totally different mindset of things. She talked about like not setting an alarm clock during the time, like that's her part of her freedom. So she doesn't set an alarm clock. But they have a specific routine for their family. They have 3 kids. John, her husband, he works part-time now, that she's very successful in her business. But, she gets up, she drinks her pink drink. When she did her recording, they were getting ready to go to Disney. So she said, like, while she's doing laundry and packing up clothes and, getting suitcases ready and stuff, she, like, in between doing that, she had followed up with a couple of people. She'd reached out to 2 of her level 1s and done a follow-up with somebody already, like, by noon that day. So she did that while she was still doing her mom duties and getting them ready to go on their trip. Sporadic throughout the day. She says she really tries to not sit down like on her computer or anything and get on Facebook, because that to her is when she found out she was really wasting time. She would get bogged down in surfing and doing all that. So she tries to be very specific, like when she gets on and does what she's supposed to be doing and then moves along with it. Like they were going to be driving. They live in Louisiana, so they were going to be driving to Orlando. So she said that she had planned already with a few of her level 1s, since John would be doing the driving. She didn't really have to focus on the road, to do some 3-way calls and welcome calls during that drive, so that all of that time that they're in the car is not just wasted time, so she can be purposefully working on her business during that time. And then one of the most important things that I feel like that she said was making sure that you make blocks of time, planning your day and scheduling in things that are important or they won't happen. If you don't schedule your business hours, schedule your personal time, schedule your personal growth and development, when you need to get things done and based on what the priority of them is. So she used, for example, in one of her videos, she was going to the gym and she said, I used to would sit and like I would get up in the morning and I'd put on my gym clothes and I would say I'm going to go work out. But then all day would happen and life has happened and I still haven't gone to the gym. But when she put it on her calendar and said, she's got an appointment with a trainer at 9 o'clock and she trains from 9 to 10, then she kept that appointment. And I think sometimes people overthink the whole process, or they think, oh, a DMO, that sounds so official. It's really not. Candace came up like after convention last week, and she sent me out her calendar page, and she was like, I know this isn't really an official DMO, but I was like, it is exactly an official DMO because you've set out exactly what you needed to do every day to make sure that those things get done. And that's really your whole purpose, guys. Like, your DMO isn't probably going to look the same as somebody else's. Mine's going to be like completely different than my sister's because she's working a job full time and I'm at home with 5 kids. So, ours is going to look completely different. But at the end of the day, we want to have been able to accomplish several of similar things throughout that. I did a post for those of you that are on my team page, and I'm sure Kelly probably shared it too, Kelly or Victoria, on the Shine Bright page about what is a DMO. And in there, a lot of our diamonds have adopted, and Tamara included, the 3-2-1 plus 1. So I'm going to give you something that on a call that I was on with Sonia Dudley and Helen McFadden. And Helen did this she gave this information on somebody else's team call, but I can't remember who that person was. But it's called a perfect Plexus day. So if you're ready, be ready to jot your little notes down here. And this perfect Plexus day consists of 2.5 hours total. Okay. And first and foremost, it's to wake up with an attitude of gratitude, being thankful. You don't have to do Plexus. You get to do Plexus. Thank God for the ability that you have with your business and to reach out to the masses and change people's finances and their health. And to genuinely wake up every day, not that you have to work your business, but that you actually get to work your business, because that mindset is everything. So that's the first thing before you ever even do anything. That's for your wake up. You want to create affirmations, and you want to visualize them, and they should be Plexus related, as to how that can impact your business. You should have at least 5 affirmations. You can smell the leather in the car for Kona. You can picture yourself sitting on the beach with your upline, having a pina colada or whatever it is that you want to do when you get to Kona. Actually affirming what your goals are with your business, and at least 5 affirmations. And what you want to do is spend 2 minutes of your affirmations 5 times a day. So that's going to take up 10 minutes of your day, speaking your positive affirmations back into yourself. Then you're going to spend 30 minutes a day being productive on social media. Whether that's when you're posting on your wall, actually creating posts and doing them from the heart and being personal, because you're going to get the most out of a post that you do that relates to you. And we all are going to pull at some point a post that's not real personal to us, but we share it because it's good. And that's okay, but you're going to get the most out of something that is personal to you. Like when I share something that's specific about my kids, or that, this gave me the energy to get through the day running around with all 5 of them, and we had this and this and this going on. That's personal to me. People are going to relate to that more than they are some graphic about whatever product, So you want to make sure that you're trying to create your posts and making them be from the heart and mixing them up. Now, we've talked about how frequently to post and all that. We discussed some of that on last week's recap from convention on a challenge that we were given. So if you're on my team and you didn't see that soon, then check that out for that 10-4-1 regarding posting. So that's going to take up 30 minutes of your day. And it doesn't mean, guys, when I'm giving you these time slots, like the affirmations are 2 minutes 5 times a day. Okay, so that's 10 minutes total. You can break this up, like if you want to spend 15 minutes on social media doing your stuff in the morning and 15 minutes at night, that's fine. I'm just kind of giving you the blockages of time throughout the day that she's given us here. The next thing is going to be that 3-2-1 plus 1, and that's 1 hour of your day to spend doing that. And like I said, you'll hear 5-3-1. You'll hear 3-2-1. I think if you're doing either one of them, you're going to be fairly successful. So, the 3 would be 3 new contacts, reaching out. Excuse me. 2 would be following up with 2 customers You know, maybe it's somebody that you've given out samples to or something like that, or any potentials that you have. One would be following up with one business contact or a new ambassador to do some kind of training. And then the plus one that Tamara discusses is going to be down on its own level down here when we talk about personal growth. So that's your 3, 2, 1. Reaching out to three new contacts, following up with 2, and then reaching out to one new ambassador to do training with them. So that's an hour. And then 20 minutes of your time connecting with your team, your upline, your sideline, etc. So, you know, a lot of times, I'm sure that y'all see, like, we all want you on our team pages. Like, every leader wants the team on the team pages, and, you know, check the team pages, and we want you engaged there so that you can be building those sideline relationships and building those upline relationships. So if you have a small team and you spend 20 minutes a day engaging in that kind of manner, that's a lot of time, you know. So I would use that time wisely, because as your team grows, and as your uplines and your sidelines grow, you may expand them. And then the last sector there is the plus one that we talked about on 3, 2, 1 plus 1. And that's 30 minutes on reading personal growth. And that can be if you're reading a book. I know we all have several books that we absolutely love, that we've talked to y'all about. GoPro is a great book if you're just getting into this business and you haven't started really reading or doing any self-development regarding network marketing. GoPro is a great one. Go for No is another good book. Kind of getting started. And then Making the First Circle Work is a book by Randy Gage, and The First Circle Is You. And then, of course, there's Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. All those books, like I have those here, my GoPro book is over on the other side. But those are just a few tips or books that I could recommend you guys kind of start with. You have to put into yourself on a daily, whether it's your own training, your personal development, if that's videos, if that's you know, call recordings, things like that we posted on team pages, reading, whatever that looks like. If you spend 15 minutes reading and 15 minutes watching a video, that's great too. But that time is really critical. And, you know, when I started Plexus, I worked full-time outside the home, and I do have 5 kids, and I'm a single mom. So I'm not going to tell you that I actually broke my day down like this, because I didn't. And I've been probably lucky in a sense to have still accomplished a lot of things that I do get accomplished when I didn't have something like this in place. But if that looks like, you know, like I said, for every person, it's going to look different. It may be that you need to get up and do an hour of work in the morning. And then, you know, like Sarah Marble said, when John comes home at night, he kind of takes over the kiddies because she's been home and she's been loving on them and spending time with them all day. So when he comes home at night, then, you know, she's got her few hours there that she kind of dives back into her business and works it. So I think for every person, it's going to be a little bit different. You know, for me, I used to check team pages and do all that stuff on my lunch break at work. So it's just kind of incorporating the little things. And then, of course, you can manage answering messages and stuff like that throughout the day, or you just set out a block to do that. So I think for a lot of people, we're going to have different business hours or just a flat different DMO. And it's okay that yours doesn't look like somebody else's, because you might not have to do the same thing every day. Your goal really is just to make sure that the things that you need to get done are done. So essentially, you want to sit down and say, okay, this time of day is the best time for me to do ABC. This time of day is the best time of day for me to do this. And make that work. If you don't plan it, it's not going to happen. I'm just going to tell you. I mean, we've all seen enough, and if you don't make it a priority, it's not going to be a priority. And just like the post that Kelly put it on Shine Bright today, I know, and I shared it on Pink Freedom as well, from Lisa's tryout. It was, hey, I'm just going to be blunt with you. It's like what you have to put into it. Like, nobody can do it for you. You either want it or you don't. So just kind of get your plan in place. Every single person. We've had people from, single moms, working outside the home, couples working, wife working 3 jobs, husband working 2, trying to make ends meet. Everybody has the same opportunity. So it's just really what you're going to do with it and what you're going to do with that time. So I hope that that'll help you kind of get some kind of thoughts together as far as creating a daily method of operation and understanding what the importance is. Going and liking somebody's post on Plexus, that's not really doing anything to make you any money. That's not an income producing activity. It's great. And yes, we're one Plexus, and yes, we all want to support each other, but it's really not doing anything for you. So really look down at what these items are that we talked about that are income producing for you, and set out your day so that you can make those happen. And I know a lot of people have said to me, Alicia, I can't do that. Like, I'm not going to just go talk to people, or I'm not going to do this. And for that, I'll leave you with a quote from John Maxwell, that if we are growing, we're always going to be out of our comfort zone. Because you always will hear that the magic happens outside of your comfort zone. And that is so very true. So if it's something that doesn't make you awfully comfortable, just know that it's going to make you grow substantially. So
Alicia, I have something to say on that.
Yeah, please.
I think what is very helpful on that too is when you get a power partner. And my husband doesn't even sell, but he is an ambassador. But like for me, sitting on the airplane, it was out of my comfort zone to completely turn to the person beside me and just start randomly talking about Plexus.
Mm-hmm.
At work, it's easier because people hear it, see it, and they come to me, and I just, talk about it all the time. But to turn around to a lady who's flying for another convention somewhere else and me just start talking, my husband was the one that was like, what do you have to lose? What if she orders? Just start talking to her about what you love. So he made me get out of my comfort zone. And after the fact, I was like, wow, that wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a power partner to help you through it, it does make things like that a little bit easier, that you can talk about it and they can give you, the push to do it.
Very true. Absolutely. Does anybody else have anything to add or any questions or anything? This is a big group to be so quiet.
I kind of think none of this is actually hard. None of this is really rocket science. It's just a matter of prioritizing and saying, hey, we're going to do it. I struggle a lot because really I have 2 jobs, and it seems like sometimes there's no time to fit it in. And when I don't fit it in, nothing happens. And there's no magic and there's no growth. And it just really stinks. And I get discouraged and I get upset and go through this vicious cycle. So you guys, really all these diamonds ahead of us that have put the groundwork out there and kind of told us what's available and how to do this. None of these steps that we've gone over is hard. It's really a matter of prioritizing and saying, I'm going to do it. And I kind of think the time blocking is probably key, because once you put it in writing and kind of see your schedule and you kind of let yourself know and your family know that, hey, for 30 minutes tonight after dinner or something, I'm doing plexus or whatever it is for you, it probably makes the world of difference.
Exactly. And, it's just like if your kid has a baseball game or a golf tournament or ballet class or whatever that is, you probably have that written down because you have to be blocked out to do that because that's a priority for you. And your business should be no different. Like you really should be able to, did your husband just sing me out? Tell him I love him too. I'm sorry if y'all can't see that.
He's trying to watch the Braves game, and I'm talking to you, and he's like, hey, let's get some headphones on you. And I'm like, what?
Bye, ladies.
Did you hear him? He said, bye, lady.
Love you, mean it.
Hey, great. I can hear you cough better. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. We're just going to go right through that. But, you have those things on your calendar because they're a priority. So once you get used to doing your DMO, it's going to come naturally to you. But I think a lot of times what we end up doing is we end up wasting time that we feel like we're working and we're really not working. I asked on my team for people right after convention to send me a list, like to do it for 3 days and write down when you're working, like what the time bracket is and what exactly it is that you're doing. And I didn't get a huge response from that, shockingly enough, but the response that I got, a few people are kind of on it and kind of on pace, but a lot of what I saw was I like to post. I posted on my Facebook. It was very and it was very short windows. So you may not have 2.5 hours a day to get to your business. And if you don't, then you need to shrink it and you need to prioritize it. So what matters to you. But there's one thing that I can tell you about this business. You can work it sometimes. No, you can work it part-time. You can work it full-time, but you cannot, Alicia distracted me, I'm sorry, y'all. You cannot work it some of the time. Because if you treat it like a hobby, then you're going to get paid from it like it is a hobby. And I mean, that's just real, You often hear people say you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And that is 1,000% correct. I had a conversation with several people last week, and it always ended up going something like this. How much money do you need to make? What's a reasonable amount of time that you think you should have to work to make that much money? And how much time are you going to allow yourself to work that much to build that kind of income? And, whether your goal is being gold or whether your goal is being diamonds, it matters. And you can't sit back and say, oh, I'm frustrated, like I'm not getting where I want to be. I'm not emerald yet, but I haven't worked fine business 10 hours a week consistently since I started. I mean, it doesn't weigh out. You have to, at some point, make it a priority. So if it means, and this was like a joke Katrina and I made the other day, was that, okay, if there's anything you watch on TV, it's going to be like recorded, and maybe we'll catch up after we hit ABC goals. Because you truly just can't, expect to not put the work in and then reap all these benefits. It's called network marketing because you actually have to work to get it there. The reason why a lot of people won't be successful in this is because they don't want to put in the work, or they won't put in the work. But when you see the people who have taken a time proven method and applied that and stayed with it and been consistent and applied themselves, guys, they're the ones that are successful. They're the ones that are double diamonds. They're the ones that are diamond gold, and everybody's not going to make, everybody's not going to make it in 4 months time, and I'm totally okay with that because I had a conversation with somebody the other day. I worked like 10 years being a DM before I hit a 6-figure income. Okay, well, I've been with Flex for 2 years. So, I'm a whole lot further ahead on my track right now with Flexes than I was doing that job. And I'm also not having to miss, being at my kids' parties at school and, all of that stuff. So you really just have to kind of look at it as what you're willing to put into it. Let me check. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to add? Melissa, can you not say what you got? Maybe not. I don't know if I can. I think I have you muted. I'm getting all kinds of creative little chats over here. Messages that people are sending me in. And yes, a dream without a plan is just a wish. That's exactly right. I can't read all that. I don't have my glasses on. I'm sorry. So if anybody wants to share anything, or if anybody has any questions, please feel free to step up or ask. Y'all just gonna be quiet.
There we go. It's me. I got it. On the Plexi Rockstar pages, there is a list of 118 ways to grow your business.
Mm-hmm.
That's been pretty fun, and that's really got me out of my comfort zone. And also, too, I've learned from convention to time block in advance. So the night before, I'm going to write down what I'm going to do the next day. And my IPA is what's going to move me up in rank, my income producing activities. And also, too, my DMO is driven by my goals and how fast I can run.
Exactly right. And, and a lot of people, it's okay to do it like the night before, but some people, like teachers plan their lessons out for the week and stuff like that. Some people do it like for the whole week. Some people might have to do it for the month because, like especially Lord for June, we got convention here, vacation here, like all this stuff going on, so it's okay to schedule your time out, but just make sure that you do schedule your time out because your Plexus time should be on your book and be just as important to you as your kid's dentist appointment. And, when that's coming up, you got that on the books. You know what I'm saying? Like I have an alert on my phone for that. Like I'm not going to forget it. So I want you guys to kind of think in terms of that. Let me see here. I'm trying to find Katrina. Hold on for me. Did that unmute you, Katrina?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I had to call in because it wasn't working on my video phone. I just want to say a couple things. One, I'm hearing myself echo, so I hope you're not hearing me echo.
No, you're good.
Good. I just want to say thank you for the tough love because I think so many times we think, and it's kind of presented, I've seen people present it, that this is an easy way to make money. And I don't think that's true. I think it's an inexpensive way to make money because we pay $34.95 when we buy our kit. But the reality is, if you want to go further than just being an ambassador and getting your own products paid for, you really have dreams of financial freedom, you have to put in the work. And I will admit that for the last year and a half, I have wallowed in my not moving as fast as I want to, my little turtle pace. That's kind of a joke, but also reality. Not doing my DMOs and my IPAs. And for me, convention was eye-opening and seeing that those people that were the most successful, those people that were sitting on the ground floor, those people that are making enough income to provide for their families and retire themselves and their husbands and those kinds of things are the ones that are doing all the daily activities. And so I just want to say thank you for the tough love, because I think we just always want to pretend that it's easy and that we're just going to get there when we get there, which it is in our own time. But if we're not putting in the work, it's not going to happen.
That's exactly right. It's true. I mean, you can get there. And if you want to get there in 6 months, or if you want to get there in 6 years, it's going to be dependent upon the work that you put in. And, we talked about this on another call, and some of you, I'm sure, saw the graphic coming out from convention where it said this is what rejection looks like, and it was like the floor of the arena with all of the jewel chairs for emerald, sapphires, and diamonds. And you're given the same opportunity that diamond is given. And what they said was that person has just heard no more than you have. So don't be afraid to hear no. And don't be afraid to work your business. Like, I look at this perfect Plexus day, as Helen calls it, and it's 2.5 hours, guys. So, like, I had this conversation with one of my level ones, and I said, okay, if you were to take a job working part-time, how much money are you going to make an hour? And like, we really kind of honed down on, okay, what does that look like? If you take a job, you're working part-time, you have to have taxes taken out, you have to pay for childcare to be able to go to work, all those things. And then let's talk about if we worked 5 hours a day in our Plexus business. I mean, like, God, could you imagine? I mean, if we really, truly, like, I can venture to say, like, yeah, there's some days I probably do work 5 good solid hours on my Plexus business. But if every day, in Helen's challenge, and that's the challenge I'm going to put out to y'all, is to have 3 perfect Plexus days in your first week to start out with. So get your DMO together, incorporate these activities into how you're going to make it work, and goal yourself to have 3 Plexus perfect Plexus days in the next week. And then, like, all I could think of, okay, was, well, what if I have 5 of them? What if I increase that time instead of just 2.5 hours, like, especially when my kids get back to school? What if I increase that time, and instead of just 2.5 hours, I really bumped it up and, like, double those efforts? Like, then where am I going to be? Well, then in that time, I'm saying, okay, if that's 5 hours in a day, even if I worked 5 days a week, that's only 25 hours a week, guys. And you can't tell me that making $40,000 a month isn't worth 25 hours a week worth of work. I don't think anybody on this call would say that that's not worth that, But what you don't want to have happen is you don't want to have, you be in a position where you feel like you're constantly over analyzing and you feel like you're working, and then nobody really is attracted to what you're doing because they feel like you're always working and you're always on your phone and you can't ever do anything to have fun because you're always working. So you want to be intentional with your work and not get caught up in the being on Facebook, not really working. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be my challenge to go out to you guys on watching those 3 diamond documentaries. And if you're on the Shine Bright team page, if you're in Kelly or Victoria's downline and you're not in my downline, then I'm going to challenge you to comment in the thread for this call, where the call information was posted, to comment what you learned from each of those 3 diamond documentaries. And on my team, I'm going to ask you to do that on the Pink Freedom page, to comment what you took away from those 3 diamond documentaries. And then I'm going to challenge all of you in the next week to really try to have yourself 3 perfect plexus days. And then comment and post in the thread. Don't be shy to say this is how this is going, or hey, I had my first perfect plexus day today. And encourage each other and see how much that really changes your business, or how much more motivated that you feel from that. Does anybody have anything else they want to add? Okay, I'm going to stop recording at this point. So we will let you guys go.